Spring. Spring is a time when plants start to grow, seeds start to sprout, and animals in hibernation start to wake up. The natural world revives and reinvigorates after the cold, dead winter months. Also new anime. Summertime Render is an anime that I'm currently watching and enjoying, so I'm gonna talk about it. Yeah, I don't know how to do intros yet.
Let me show you right now before you give it up.
Summertime Render is a lot of things. It's a supernatural murder mystery time travel thriller. There's probably a better way to categorize it, but that's how I would describe it. The plot is about Shinpei Ejiro, an orphan boy who was brought in and raised by this large, voluptuous, thick man named Alan Kofude and his two daughters Mio and Ushino. Fast forward years later and Shinpei has moved to Tokyo, but after Ushino drowns while trying to save a young girl, he returns back to the island for a funeral. But while they're at the funeral, some news bombs are dropped, like how bruises were found around Ushino's neck during her autopsy, which brings up the big question that starts the whole mystery off. Am I gay? Shit, no, wrong notes. Who or what killed Ushino? In order to solve the murder, Shinpei keeps reliving the same 3 days over and over, sort of like Groundhog's Day with a lot of more death, like a whole lot of. It's a good amount. It also reminds me of another murder mystery time travel thriller anime, but we'll get into that later. Well, it's already in the title, but I don't know, act surprised or something. Okay, thanks. The story once the ball gets rolling is really good. However, the first half of the first episode is really boring. It's bad. They just have Shinpei running around the island doing dumb shit. There's this one scene I think at the funeral where Shinpei goes like, "She always loved my curry. The last day I was here, she asked me to make it for her. And I said next time, but there was never a next time." I was sitting here having a good time making fun of this anime, but once that halfway point hit, shit got serious. And then it got crazy. Seriously, if you feel like the first episode is kind of slow, just hang in there, trust me, I was just like you, but it gets good. The characters range from okay to pretty likable. The main character Shinpei is kind of your generic normal guy anime protagonist. There's nothing really stand out about him. Even his design is pretty bland, except for his eyes are kind of cool. But there's still some time for his character to be fleshed out in later episodes, I hope. Mio is kind of interesting. At first glance, she appears to be a happy-go-lucky girl stereotype, but it's actually just a facade to keep everyone around her less sad after the death of her sister. So is Shinpei's best friend. He's instantly on board with solving Ushino's murder. When he's brought evidence of some crazy supernatural shit happening on the island, he's just unfazed. Like, look at this man, what a Chad. The most interesting character by far has to be Hizuru. She's a trained assassin and a very intelligent person, and she has a nice smile, and she has a nice smile. Wait, I already said that. Must be the dementia. The art is pretty good, and the island scenery is nice to look at. Also, the OSTs are kind of banging, but nothing too stand out about it, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on these. Like I said earlier, Summertime Render reminds me of another time-traveling murder mystery. Erased is about a guy named Satoru gaining the ability to travel back in time to his childhood in order to solve and prevent the abduction and killing of one of his classmates from happening. The narrative and story are incredible. The art is beautiful, especially when they're walking out in the snow. And the OSTs are also very incredible. Now, the reason I bring up Erased is not just to talk about good anime, but which I could do, but also to bring up an issue I can see Summertime Render also suffer from, and that is diverging from the manga. In Erased, everything leading up to the ending is similar to its manga counterpart, but there are some key differences here and there. Some character arcs end up getting cut short or get removed altogether, but nothing too big that changes the entire story until the ending happens. You see, while the Erased anime was airing, the original manga was still in production and wouldn't release its final volume until a month after the anime had already concluded, with the anime airing its final episode on March 25th, 2016, and the manga releasing its last volume on April 27th. So, with time running out and no second season in mind, A1 Pictures had to make up their own ending to the series, which is why it was horrible. The spoiler alert, skip to like this point in the video if you don't want spoilers for Erased. The ending of the anime all takes place inside of a hospital with Satori getting amnesia, then forgetting that he has amnesia or some shit. I don't know, I forgot. Then he concocts a truly brilliant plan with the power of his Jimmy Neutron brain blast. Then he catches the killer, and the true Erased was the men we kissed along the way. In the manga, Satori regains his memories through talking with his love interest, which is also dumb, but we'll let it slide. Then a leukemia patient Satoru had gotten close with becomes the killer's next soon-to-be victim. Satoru and the gang decide to take her on a camping trip to keep her safe, but when the killer shows up, he reveals that the true victim is actually Satoru, and he tries to set a whole fucking bridge on fire, with him and Satoru on it. But Satoru jumps into the river below, and they end up catching the killer. The end. And the true erase was the men we kissed. Now, I'm not trying to shit on the writers of the anime too harshly. If I was in their position, I would probably write an ending where the main protagonist and killer kiss and make up, and then kiss some more. What I'm trying to say is that it's not their fault that the ending was not the same quality as the rest of the anime. They just tried to do their best in a shitty situation. Thankfully, it seems like the studio creating the Summertime Render anime, OLM, the overly large men, have learned from the erases of the world, as the anime was greenlit shortly after the release of the final manga volume. So far, the anime sticks to the same story beats as the manga. It seems like an actual faithful adaptation. The episodes so far have been so good that I've decided to read some of the manga, and in my humble opinion, if they keep following the same story as the manga, then Summertime Render, the anime, definitely has the potential to be better than Erased. So far, the series has about 4 episodes out, however they're all only available on Disney Plus unless you know. And if you've already binged all the episodes, give Erased a try. I know I kind of trashed it in this video, but seriously, it's still a good watch. And that's about it. If you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a like and maybe even subscribe. And yeah, see ya.